And we say now that motherboard is the one that looks like this. If you open up your computer or your laptop, you'll find this kind of gadget or electronic device. If your laptop has a problem and you take it to a technician, the first thing they will do is to open up the device is exposed. Here is where you normally install RAM. For those who have seen before, this is where you store the processor. In our old days, when I was in campus like you are, we used to buy grown computers. I don't know if they are still sold today, but here in those days, you would go to a shop, they sell you a motherboard alone, they sell you a processor alone, they sell you RAM alone, they sell you hard disk alone, and they sell you everything else alone, but they would sometimes fix it for you. So this is where we use to place the processor. The processor actually stays where here I'm shading. This is where you actually find the processor. As I mentioned, processor is just a chip that is square, so it will be placed there. So that is where you would place the processor, and then we would place RAM in these racks. This is one RAM, this is another rack. So this is where we would place RAM, and then hard disk. Yeah, hard disk is connected to these ports. We used to call them SATA port. But the idea is this is like the mother of the computer. If we are talking about brain and everything, mother is hosting all these other devices. So you will normally add all of them. And there are ports where here you can find there is an Ethernet port here. Ethernet port is the one that allows you to connect to the internet. Then you can see there are some USB ports here. Then you also find there is a VGA port somewhere here. I think this might be VGA. VGA, you will learn about it shortly today. And purely, this is the mother of, that is why it's called the motherboard. It is the mother of other components. So we are saying that it's a single platform that connects all the parts of the computer together. It connects the CPU. The CPU is the one I'm calling the processor. The memory, the hard drives, the optical drives, the video card, etc. Sound card, other ports, connected directly or via ports. So it's simply the backbone of a computer. So the features of motherboard is that it varies depending on the manufacturer, and one type of motherboard only supports one type of CPU or one type of processor, and also a few types of memories. You find some memories that are not compatible with a given kind of motherboard, and others are compatible. Then video cards, hard disk, etc. Have to be compatible with the motherboard for them to function properly. Then motherboard cases and power supplies must be compatible to work properly together. So there are a number of manufacturers of motherboards like Intel, Asus. There are so many of them. These are in the old days. I think here you also find Apple is also here. And there are very many kind of manufacturers. We have seen Intel is very common. You also find AMD, even the likes of Toshiba, HP, Acer. All these manufacture their own motherboards. So there is nothing unique about this one that they are listed here in comparison to the others that I have listed. They're just different manufacturers that prepare these motherboards. I think I have explained the details of motherboard here. We say that motherboard is mounted inside the case and it is securely attached to via small screws. Then motherboard contains ports, so that is important. And I think I have shown you these ports that connects all the internal components. It actually connects both the internal components and the external as well. So even the kind of keyboards and the mouse are also connected to the motherboard externally. It provides a single socket for a CPU. I have shown you that. Whereas memory is normally more than one slot available. Sometimes you can have RAM. A computer can support maybe 8 GB of RAM, but then it has two slots, one for 4 GB, and the other one you put another 4 GB. So that kind of ports allows you to connect memory to the motherboard. There's motherboards also provide ports where you can insert hard drive, optical drives via ribbon cables. In the old days, we used to talk about floppy drives. Nowadays, we do not talk about these ones because they have been overtaken by events. We no longer use floppy drives. Motherboards also carries fans and special port designed for power supply. There is a peripheral card slot in which you can add video cards, sound cards, and other expansion cards. And on the left hand side, there is a number of ports to connect the monitors, printer, mouse, keyboard, speaker, among others. I think that is a good introduction to motherboard. I think there is nothing more to discuss about motherboard. You can always study more about motherboard on your own.